So good morning everyone. I am Akisa Alawi Baloa and I will be reporting the Module 7 about salting and drying. Let's go. So our lesson objectives is at the end of this module, the learners will be able to 1. Define osmosis, salting and drying. Number 2. Discuss the effect of different salt concentration and preserved foods. Number 4. Prepare and preserve fruits and vegetables for drying and salting. And then 4. Observe the physical characteristics of dried fruits. Salting is a method of food preservation that is more commonly used in meat and fishes and less common in fruits and vegetables. So some fruits like green mangoes, santol, cucumber, cauliflower, and other are some examples of fruits and vegetables preserved by salting. So some of the common salted meat and fish products include ham, bacon, tocino, and sausage, corned beef, and many more. So, yan yung mga preserved food, no? So, the picture below shows a fish. Yan yung tinatawag na salting, no? Nilalagay yung meat sa salt alone. Yan siya. So, in some foods, salting is combined with other preservatives or preservation methods such as smoking, fermenting, drying, and freezing or refrigeration. So, maraming paraan ng pagpapreserve ng food, no? Hindi lang siya salting. So, we can also use the freezing, which is more convenient, no, ang freezing. So many other more like smoking, fermenting, and drying. So salt act as a preservative because rock salt or sodium chloride removes the water content, no, remove niya ang water content sa food through a process called osmosis. So ang osmosis is, let's say in other words is kuan, water balancing act. So, binabalance niya, which also, the passive transport of water. So, nababalance niya yung food moving to where it's needed. Yes. So, these are the following functions of salt. So, ito yung mga functions ng salt. Salt inhibits the growth of microorganism and food because microbial cells lose their water and become plasmolase. So, it is when salt draws water out of microbial cells through a process called osmosis. No, without water, the cells shrivel and become dehydrated, a condition known as plasmolysis, which stops them from growing or reproducing. So number two is salt ionizes and yields chlorine, which is harmful to organism. No, this one is when salt is dissolved in water, it ionizes into sodium and chlorine or ions. The chloride ions can be toxic to some microorganisms, disrupting their internal process and killing them. So, malaki ang naitutulong ng salt talaga sa pag-preserve ng food natin. No? So, nakakatanggal siya ng other mga dangerous bacteria. So, number 3 is salt reduces the solubility of oxygen in solution and deprives aerobic organisms of the oxygen that they used. No? High salt concentration, kapag mataas ang salt concentration ito, it's lower the solubility of the oxygen in water, meaning there is less oxygen available for aerobic or oxygen requiring microbes. Without enough oxygen, itong mga bacteria na to, these microbes cannot be survive or multiply. So hindi sila dumadami. So sa number 4 naman is salt denatures protein of which microbial enzymes are composed and thus interferes with their action. So, salt can interfere with the structure of proteins, of course, including the enzyme that microbes need to function. This process called denaturation. So, it changes the shape of these proteins so they no longer work properly, which stops microbial activity. So, sa salt preservation is talagang hindi may siyang less percentage lang kung mabubuhay ba ang mga microbes or mga dangerous bacteria dito. So, I think it's a safe one to do. No? So, talagang ang functions ng salt is very important. So, ito naman ay yung mga other preservative na kinocombine nila sa salt para mas maging high quality yung mga preserved na foods. These are number one, the sugar. No? Ang sugar combined with salt performs the following function. Number one, lessen the hardness of the straight cure process. So medyo napapalambot niya ang ating food. Number two is renders a more appetizing appearance to the finished product. So, mas nagiging appetizing yung itsura ng ating pagkain. And then provides energy to nitrate-reducing bacteria which gives color to preserve the food. Yes. And number two naman is ang spices. So, there are so many different kinds of spices. So, spices are used to give the desired flavor and aroma in preserved foods. So, some of the spices that we usually and often use is the what to call this, the pepper, paprika, and many more, cinnamon. Yan, nakaka-help yan din siya sa pag-preserve natin ng food. So, also, we have the saltpeter or saltire or potassium nitrite. It is used to impart a bright red color characteristic of high-quality preserved food. So, ito siya is, saltpeter is parang kind of high-quality kind of salt. Yan siya. So, next. We have the salting fish. So, fish that are cured with pure salt results to a finished product with a yellowish white color, as you've seen in the picture. When fresh water is added, the flesh freshen up, becomes soft, and almost resembles that of fresh fish. On the other hand, salt impurities cause fish to become white, hard, and brittle, which that when fresh water is added, the fish does not soften and it gives off a strong and bitter taste. So, ang pagsosalt ng fish is ang pagsusalt ng fish is good because it preserve it by stopping bacterial growth, na i-enhance niya din ang taste ng food. Also, it improves texture. Next. So, we're gonna now let's have the salt concentration, no? So, as shown in the picture. When there is a lot of salt, pag madami ng salt, it quickly pulls water out of the food. This makes the proteins on the surface change and the outside of the food become hard. If you add even more salt, the salt spreads and deeply evenly into the food. This completely stops bacteria and other microorganisms from growing, helping the food stay preserved for a long time. So yan ang tinatawag na osmosis. So ang salt concentration is very important because it helps control water movement and prevent spoilage or damage in a biological and food system. Yes. So now let's do the facilitating salt diffusion. So when you stir the brine, the brine is the mixture of water and salt. When you mix it, the mixture of salt and water, yes, of course, while the food is soaking in it, the salt spread evenly and enters the food faster. This helps the salt get inside the food more quickly, make the preservation process faster and more effective. It works especially when salting eggs because stirring helps the salt reach all parts of the egg evenly. So, when we do the brine, so when we stir it, natutunaw kasi yung salt. So, pag natutunaw yung salt, mas mabilis siyang pumapasok sa food natin. So, in that way, mas nagiging okay yung preservation natin, pag-preserve natin ng food kasi it is faster and more effective. So, example nito ay yung mga salted eggs. Yung mga salted eggs natin, di ba, binababad siya sa salt and then after a while, tanggalin mo na. So, yung mga salt mismo is pumapasok mismo sa food. So, yun siya. It is very important also, no? So, ang pag-stir or ang pag-mix nito is nakakabigay din ng function kasi it will help the salt reach all part of the egg evenly or sa anong food mo yan na sinusalt mo. Yan siya. So, we're gonna discuss now the methods of salting. So, there are so many types or methods of salting. So, number one is we have the dry salting. So, ang dry salting is done in layers or in barrel, jar, pot, or tank, drawing the liquid from the food. A weight may be placed on top of the stock food to hasten the removal of moisture. So, yung mga oldest type na ginagamit natin ng salting, itong dry salting is, let's say, gagawin natin siyang layer by layer. salt, and then we're gonna mix it. Saka lang siya tatakpan, nalalagyan siya ng heavy object para mas mawala yung moisture o yung water niya. So, yun ang tinatawag na dry salting. So, next one naman is water or pickle curing, also called as brine salting. So, this method uses a strong salt water solution to preserve food. To make the brine, salt is added to boiling water until no more can dissolve, and some salt remain undissolved, showing it is fully saturated. The solution is then cooled before placing the food into it. The brine is stirred occasionally to help the salt spread evenly and prevent weak spots in the mixture. Additionally, salt may be added as needed to keep the solution strong, usually around 25% concentration. So, ito yung pinakita ko kanina, yung facilitating diffusion. Yun ba yun? Yung ang ginagamit naman dito sa wet or pickle curing is yung brine mismo. Lalagay natin sa jar, as you've seen in the picture, ilalagay sa jar. Nagawa na natin yung brine, saka siya ilalagay sa jar with the fish. So, in that way, ito yung and that way, nagiging sealed and preserve yung food natin. So, yan siya, wet or pickle curing. So, madaming ibang, other ways ng wet or pickle curing. Some example of this are yung mga pickled cucumber, pickled mangoes, yun siya. Nilalagyan nila yun ng salt, but some other is, mas malaki yung salt niya or concentration niya, para mas maging preserved ito. So, wet lang siya, nakababad siya, hindi parehas ng dry method is tinatanggalan talaga siya ng moist. So, the next one is we have the dry salting to brine. Ito naman is, in this method, food is packed in containers as in dry salting. As salt is dissolved, a brine is formed which covers the fish. More salt is added to ensure a 25% salt concentration. So, ito namang drying salting to brine is hindi natin siya lalagyan ng water. So, mismo ang salt is magiging act as a brine. As times goes by, pag nilagay natin siya sa food with only salt lang, is yung salt mismo yung nagiging moist or natutunaw siya doon. So, yun yung nagiging brine. So, hindi natin siya nilagyan ng water. So, dry salting to brine. So, from dry salting, lalagyan lang siya ng salt, and then until mag-brine siya or siya na mismo yung matunaw. So, some is dinadagdagan pa nila ng salt after a while para mas concentrated yung pinapreserve natin na food. Yan siya ang dry salting. So, the next one is drying. So, dito na tayo sa drying, no? So, drying is one of the oldest methods of food preservation. So, it helps the reduction of moisture content through sun drying. Through exposure to air current or artificial heat until the moisture content is reduced by a considerable amount, thus enacting microbial growth. So, ito naman is, tatakal natin ang drying, no? So, ito din ay other types of preserving. Kanina, ang tackle natin, dinidiscuss natin kanina is salting, and ngayon naman drying. So, ito yung pagdadry ng without talagang completely dry yung ang ginagawa natin. So, ito yung mga methods ng drying. We have the freeze drying. Alam naman natin ito, yung sinabi ko kanina. Involves the removal of water from a product while it is frozen by sublimation. Sublimation is defined as the changing of solid to gas without going through the liquid stage. So, yan yung freezing. Yung nire-ref lang natin talaga yung mga food natin, and that way napapreserve sila, natatanggal yung moisture at nagiging matigas. Yes, of course. So, kasi nare-remove niya yung water. Yan yung freezing. Usually, sa ibang bansa, sikat na sikat yung freeze drying. Yes. And then, we also have the oil drying. Ang oil drying naman, it involves the frying of slices of potatoes and similar food in oil up to 95 to 110 degrees Celsius, or kung sa Fahrenheit naman is 203 to 230 Fahrenheit, reducing the water content up to a point wherein the finished chips contain only 1.2 to 2% moisture. Chicharon, snack items, and even meat may be dried by frying. So, example of this is yung mga banana chips at yung mga chicharon, no? When we fry them, kapag ginagawa natin yung oil drying or fina-fry muna sila, talagang napapreserve nila. Napapansin nyo ba na nagla-last longer yung mga food na gina-oil drying? Kagaya ng banana chips, nagla-last longer talaga yan siya. So, in that way, parang mas nagiging longer yung span ng life niya or yung pagiging edible niya. So, yan ang oil drying. And then the next one is drying by smoking. So tapa sa Tagalog or Bisaya kanang tinapa ba, tinapa. So yan siya. So smoking with warm fumes up to 608 Celsius from burning woods result in drying besides imparting the desired color and flavor effects when cured. So here in here sa atin, ang famous na product ng smoking is yung bakas na nabibili natin sa Baloy. So yan siya, pinapausukan lang yan siya, tapos natatanggal din yung moisture niya, and also nagiging iba yung texture at saka yung lasa niya. Mas sabi nila mas sumasarap, so na-enhance yung taste niya. And it also it will last longer of course kasi natanggal na yung moist, at aside from that naging flavorful pa siya. So, yan ang drying by smoking. And then, ito naman yung sinabi ko kanina, yung osmotic or osmosis drying. Addition of salt or sugar also results to the reduction of water through osmosis, which be air dried afterwards. So, yan yun siya, yung osmosis. So, madaming product ang osmosis. Yes. So, next one. These are the principles of drying. So, number one is exposing of food to warm air. Warm air has the capacity to hold more moisture as compared to cold air. So, yung warm air daw is mas nakakaproduce ng moisture kaysa sa cold air. And then, exposing the food to circulating air. Pag na-expose yung food sa circulating air or mahangin, circulating air brings a continuous supply of fresh air in contact with the food. Oh, wow. So, also, heating the food under vacuum, it has the ability to increase water loss at low temperature while retaining the natural characteristic of the food. Oh, okay. And then number 4 is reducing the food into small pieces, exposing more food surface to hot and warm air. And then 5, exposing the food to burning sulfur or sulfur fumes, which affects cell membrane by speeding up the movement of water from the inner part to the surface of the food. This also inactivates enzymes that cause food discoloration. So these are the principles of drying. And then now we are down to preparation of vegetables for drying. So, just like in freezing, vegetables prepared for drying must be young and tender, since they begin to deteriorate immediately after being harvested or picked. Before drying, the vegetable should be washed thoroughly to remove dirt and microorganism. Then blanch or scald, as you can see in the picture, is ibablanch natin siya, similar to the process used in freezing. It inactivates enzymes that cause undesirable changes in color, flavor, and texture, and prevents the loss of vitamins during drying and storage. So it's very important talaga ang preparation ng vegetable bago siya i-drying. Kasi if you did not clean it properly or hindi natin siya gi-blanch, possible na hindi maglalast, hindi rin siya maglalast kahit gid-dry mo na siya. So mas better na i-wash thoroughly, properly, lalo ng mga fresh fruits and fresh vegetables para after that, iba-blanch natin or isa-scald natin para ma-retain pa rin yung vitamins niya at yung other nutrients niya kahit na dry na natin siya and storage. So, in this case also, mas naglo-longer yung span niya or yung pagiging edible niya. So, I guess this one's last a month. May mga vlogger na gumagawa ng ganito. Months naglalast yung mga ginadry nila ng mga food. So, that's good kasi nare-retain natin yung nutrients and it's very important after all. So the next one is preparation for fruits drying. So all fruits intended for drying should be washed, of course. Kailangan natin hugasan ng maayos yan. To remove dirt and impurities. Some fruits may also need to be pared or peeled. Yung iba kailangan natin yung panita nato or kanang sliceon. So large fruits should be sliced, yes, into small pieces about 1/2 to 1 centimeter thick, like this. And to make drying faster and more even. So dapat yung pagsaslice mo ng fruits is equal din siya and even para pare-pareha sila, no? And para ma-prevent natin yung discoloration also, and to make the fruit cells more permeable to water. When we say permeable is napapass through yung water or nadadaanan siya ng water. And then most fruits are usually treated with sulfuring, or if sulfuring is not possible, you can, if hindi natin magawa yung sulfuring, you can soak the fruit for 10 minutes in a solution made of 1 tablespoon of salt dissolved in 4 cups of water. This simple step helps preserve the fruit's natural color during drying. So nabigyan pa tayo ng technique, no, paano mas maging ma-preserve natin yung fruits natin when we do drying. So, kailangan daw natin mag-dissolve ng 1 tablespoon of water sa 4 cups of water, and then, ano lang sila, i-soak lang siya doon para ma-preserve natin yung natural color niya. So, drying and salting are essential traditional methods of food preservation. They work by removing moisture and creating conditions that prevent the growth of bacteria and other microorganisms. This helps to extend shelf life, yes, maintain food safety, and preserve nutritional value. Additionally, these methods enhance the flavor and texture of a certain food, such as fish and meat. Even today, kahit ngayon, drying and salting remain valuable techniques, especially in areas without access to refrigeration, of course. So, until now, nagagamit pa rin natin yung salting and drying and preserving other foods. So, sana may natutunan tayo, no, sa salting and drying, no. It really helps us. And also, in this case, pwede natin siyang gawin, lalong-lalo na if we don't have a refrigeration or access to this mga high-tech na mga technologies. So, I guess that would be all for the salting and drying. Do you have any question? I guess not. So, thank you and see ya.